Hello, everyone. So here I am. It is Friday, my official start date for the Optavia diet. This Dr. A's Habits of Health program starts on Sunday. I have a meeting with my coach, Verenia, tomorrow. And so I'm just taking a look through some things, tasting some of the food, reading the book. There's two books that come with the program. The one that I'm going to discuss today is the one that's called Your LifeBook. She wanted me to read there's different elements to the building these lifelong habits, and I'll get into their approach to that the best I can tell for what I've read so far. So she had me read element 1 and element 12. So element 1 is about figuring out what your why is. What's going to motivate you to be successful on this diet? And change your habits for life. And then it's interesting how this is broken out. Element 12 kind of describes the nutrition program, and it describes why actually you want to exercise less. Like, it just answers some of the common questions that I think come into people's head. And I'm going to tell you, for me, someone who has a lot of experience in these sort of programs, it was actually very eye-opening. And so I'd like to explain why. So there are details about this program that, for someone who has a lot of nutritional information, exercise background, that sort of thing, might be concerning, right? When I looked at 5 meals a day using what they're calling fuelings, which is mostly their packaged foods, that's about 500 to 550 calories a day plus one healthy solid meal. They call it a lean and green. You're not eating very many calories. Now, the thing that first comes to mind is, well, yeah, if you're on a starvation diet, of course you're going to lose body fat, right? But the second aspect of that was really important and sort of disarmed me, where I was like, there's never going to be enough calories in here for me to be an athlete, for me to build some muscle, as I'm recovering from my knee injury and that sort of thing. I got all of these skeptical questions floating around in my head. It provides a very good step-by-step reason for their logic. So the book is filled with what they call micro habits, right? So little tiny steps that you take, and you do them over and over and over again, and you build upon them consistently, right? So what was interesting is, so for the first 3 weeks of this program, they actually want you to exercise none to less. And now, by none is not really true, but just doing your non-exercise physical activity, like if you're walking around the office for work or whatever else. But then they also said, look, hey, if you're an athlete, if you're someone who works out hard already, and you just can't completely back off, cut it in half, right? And the reason they do that is because when you restrict your calories that far, you're not going to feel good. It's going to be hard to get through your day if you're expending a bunch of energy with exercise. And the reasoning for that is, look, let's focus on one thing at a time here. Let's get your 5 meals, fuelings. Let's learn how to do the lean and green, which is the one meal that you're responsible for creating each day, for cooking each day, and get you into a fat burning state. It's kind of a lower carb program. I wouldn't call it low carb, right? It's certainly not keto. You're going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 to 100 carbs a day. In terms of your carbohydrates, which is definitely not going to get you into ketosis. But the goal is to get you into a fat-burning cycle and to build the habits of eating regularly and learning how to prepare your own meals from the ground up. And so they're very clear about don't exercise. And that sounds kind of antithetical to anything, someone my age might have learned, but it makes perfect sense for this program. We're cutting your calories way back, and we're cutting your activity way back. And what we're doing is we're making it so that your body can go through this change from, your current state where you're eating too much, you're drinking too much alcohol, and you're storing fat to getting into a fat burning state. Now they're doing it through relatively low carb, right? Or moderate carbohydrate, I guess you could call it that. And that will work. You will start to burn fat. And a lot of people oftentimes, when they go from a higher carbohydrate diet, and carbohydrate is your primary fuel source, to using fat as a fuel source, they don't feel very well. You feel bloated, you feel groggy, you have headaches, can't sleep very well. And that process can be pretty difficult. I've gone on ketogenic diets. They do work. They absolutely do work in terms of weight loss. So I know what that feeling feels like, and I know how to use supplements and a few things to try to help me through that. So we'll see how that goes on this program. But the elements were really useful that I read already, were really useful for just trying to explain and disarm preconceived notions. And I think it's really important for this program. And it's good that they put this in this book in terms of this, building the micro habits. Let's start small. Let's break down all your preconceived notions, all the things that you've learned since you were a kid, that you see on TV. All the different diets that we've all learned since we were young, whether it was the food pyramid or, the 3 food groups, or all this stuff that we've learned, and just start by building really simple habits. Hey, can you just eat every 3 hours and drink water? Can you just do that for 3 weeks? That's all we really want you to do. Just get that habit in. Don't add the exercise. Don't feel like you have to do more. Don't feel pressured to do extra. Like, oh, I'm going to do better if I do extra. Actually, you're not. This program is designed in such a way that you're going to do better if you just do the minimal amount that it asks you to do. And then slowly but surely, adding additional habits. Stand a few minutes extra a day. Take a few extra steps per day, right? Building that on. Now, I don't have a ton of weight to lose. I will be down into single-digit body fat percentage in 15 to 17 pounds. It's not a ton. So I don't suspect I'm going to be in that phase 1, that low-calorie, low-exercise program for very long. I also have knee rehab to do. So I'm going to be discussing with my coach tomorrow, hey, look I need to add a few extra calories because I have to do my rehab. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to be that person who cuts their exercise levels in half. And so I'm really curious. I'm can't be the only one who have asked this, so I'm curious what type of recommendations are going to come across for that. Then I was talking about element 1. Element 1 was your why. So I just thought that I would put that out there. My father's 30 years older than I am. He'll be 73 in November, and his body aches, and he doesn't move well, and he's not excited to go places. He doesn't want to travel anywhere. I don't want to be like that. I want to be active and adventurous, and I want to look good. Hey, I'm 43, not doing too bad. But can do better and be healthier longer, and have virility and zest and excitement, and enjoy my life and be able to spend healthy years with my kids and hopefully some grandkids, running around playing games. I want to play tag or tennis or basketball or football or whatever they want, and I don't want to be a grumpy old man. And I've seen what that looks like. Now, I'm not saying my dad's a grumpy old man. He's actually hilarious. But I don't want to be a sedentary lifestyle in my 70s. I hope to be active to the day I die, hopefully sitting on a beach in Cabo, drinking margaritas and swimming in the pool and making a, general havoc for everybody. That's what I want to do, right? There's my why, and it's a big one. There's a lot of components to that for me. I have a lot of aspirations in terms of some business goals that I'm working on with a couple of friends. I mean, you all know that I want to make my tequila. I have the world's best idea for a new tequila. I can't wait to get it done. And, there's some things going on there. So I think it's hard to let your guard and your walls and your preconceived notions and your held habits and just to let them go. And I think if you're going to start this program, it would be a really good idea for you to be prepared to do just that. All right, let's see how it goes. I'm about to kick in one of these creamy double peanut butter crisps. I've decided that over the last couple days, I'm just trying one different thing per day just to see what they taste like before I get started on my diet. I figure if I have enough for a month and I eat up 5 meals worth, it's not going to hurt anything. So here I go. All right, take care, everybody.